Well, Russia's war continues to block much-needed grain exports from Ukraine to the rest of the world. The Ukrainian Agriculture Ministry has said that as long as the ports remained blocked, only a tenth of the country's current grain reserves can be exported by road and rail each month. Now, Turkey hosted Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov for talks aimed at reopening Ukrainian ports for shipments of grain. Now, the Ukrainian government says that as many as 25 million tons of grain are stuck in Odesa's blockaded Black Sea port. Russia and Turkey voiced support Wednesday for a safe corridor in the Black Sea with shipments flanked by the Turkish Navy. But Kyiv has rejected the proposal, saying that it was not credible. Now, since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, global food prices have exploded, leading to the threat of worsening hunger crisis in North America. Well, for more about this, I want to talk to our reporter, Ekrem Ekici. You told me also before our talk that your name means planter or harvester, so very appropriate to talk about grain.
That's correct.
So, Ekrem, how can we interpret the results of these talks that took place in Turkey today?
Well, there is a step forward, even though it's a tiny one. The advantage here is that Turkey can talk to both countries. So Turkey did not sanction Russia since the start of the war, and it still keeps its good military and economic relations with Ukraine, and both countries are partners for Turkey. So in which case that Turkey just stepped up and wanted to play this brokerage role for the peace talks.
Well, that would have been my next question. I mean, maybe you can elaborate about that, about what role Turkey actually has to play here in this sort of crisis.
Well, in theory, Turkey defines it as a facilitating or mediating role. Mm-hmm. In practice, that would mean that Turkey would escort the ships that are leaving Odesa port in Ukraine, and they would also help demining the area. And they would escort all the way down to Bosphorus Strait so that the Ukrainian wheat can reach the global markets.
Okay, well, that all sounds well and good. What does Turkey get out of doing this, actually?
Well, one can ask Turkey or Erdogan. Well, we need to dive into Turkey's current situation to answer this, because there is 1 year into elections, and Erdogan is not in good shape in terms of the polls and public support. So Turkey seems to be very eager to play this key role in this deal, so that Erdogan can show up again, and he can just show the world that, like, I'm still here and I'm still very important in the region. I can broker this deal, so the world needs me. And this can still translates into popular support in Turkey.
Right. Well, I'm taking a look at the more short-term result here. Talks were sort of ambivalent today. What's going to happen next? What do you think?
Well, it will be a cliche, but we are going to have to wait and see in the coming weeks. And we are going to have to see how Ukraine will really react to the talks that had been taking place in Turkey today. And but things are changing very quickly. Like last month, we were reporting that India wanted to step up to cover the deficit in global grain market.
Right, yeah.
But days after, they wanted to ban it. So we are really going to have to wait and see.
Well, we'll be checking in with you on that again going forward. Thank you so much, Ekrem Ekici. Now, the war, of course, has hit Ukrainian farmers in the country's east. They have been planting seasonal vegetables despite fierce fighting in the area.
A Russian missile comes to rest in a Ukrainian farmer's field, right in the breadbasket of Europe. Thanks to the soft ground, this one didn't explode. But despite the danger, life must go on, and farmers in Ukraine's eastern Donbas region have nowhere else to go. There's constant shelling. There are some breaks, but they're very short. We're not sleeping at night at all. While they're shelling, you're shaking in the bed. There's nowhere to go and no money to go. They're planting seasonal vegetables in this field, as they've done every spring for generations. There's shelling from everywhere daily. What can we do? We need to live somehow and to survive somehow. I won't go away from here. It's my field. Why should I go somewhere else? Normally, Ukraine supplies just over 40% of the sunflower oil traded on the global market, 16% of the maize, and nearly 10% of the world's wheat. But with Russia blockading Ukraine's ports, around 25 million tonnes of grain are stuck in the country, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. There's also evidence that Moscow's troops have been looting storage facilities and transporting the grain back to Russia. To make matters worse, Russia's invasion has deliberately targeted Ukraine's agricultural sector, leading to downgraded harvest forecasts for this year.